Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today what we have before us is the new Holley Mid Mount kit. It's a complete mid mount kit. It's the 20-185 BK. And Holley's mid mount kit is a complete accessory system that has all the accessories pulled in together tighter than any other accessory drive. Among many of the SWAT friendly features of this bracketless system assembly is that it all mounts to one bracket, the bracket being the water pump. So we'll go over how to install this kit. We'll go over all the parts included, and hopefully we'll have a better understanding of what this kit is about. Remember, it includes everything inside this picture. Go ahead and Google that. And we'll go over the installation on an LS1 that I'll be putting it on. Okay, so now I'm done unboxing the kit. Remember, this is a 20-185 BK kit. BK is for black, or Burger King. And we're gonna go over the parts. There's not many parts, guys. As you can see, this is pretty much all the hardware you're gonna be using. It's right here in this bag. I'm gonna go over some of the things that I do. You're welcome to do what you like, but I'll give you tips on what I do, and I've installed 3 of these, and I keep using them for a reason. My opinion, for what it's worth, is this is the best unit out there for the price and function and fitment. It's real tight. It gives you the black option. I'll go over the parts. So this is the water pump. Very simple. Why is it taped off, you may ask. I'm gonna go ahead and paint it with high temperature, single stage paint. Okay. The finish on this is okay, but I like it to be a little bit shiny so it'll clean off a lot easier. Next thing we're gonna look at are the gaskets. This is a water pump gasket. It's in the AC Delco. I'm very happy to see that they use AC Delco original parts. Right behind that, you'll see the water pump gasket. And this is actually for the water pump impeller, which is this guy over here. There it is. So that's that gasket. Next, we're gonna go over is the belt. This kit even includes a belt. It's all inclusive. Then we have the NPT adapters. The NPT adapters, guys, are really, really important. It's paramount that you follow this, okay? This is not included in the kit, all right? These barbs are. You must connect this loop. If you do not connect this and you think you can plug off these 4 holes, you got 1, 2, 3, 4. You can mount them underneath. This is the water heater bypass hose, okay? You can mount it underneath or on the side, depending on your application. I've seen a lot of people skip this part and they'll go ahead and put 4 plugs just because they're not running heater. Guess what? Your vehicle is gonna overheat. It's not gonna maintain temperature, and you're gonna have a lot of temperature issues, and you're gonna think it's something else when it's all it is this guy. So please do not skip that portion. Power steering pulley. It's right under here. It already comes black. That I won't paint. The dampener, okay? This dampener, I'm not too crazy about the finish, so that's why I have it masked off, and I will tape it with a high temperature single stage paint. This is your power steering pump. The hard line for the pump, schematic is right there. The hardware is right there. The AC adapter lines that go onto the black compressor, okay? The finish on this is good. Finish on that as well is good. Here's a thermostat housing. Taped it off. I'm going to paint that black as well. I like to run a 160 thermostat. There's a part number. Okay. It comes with a 185. I won't be using that. Here is the tensioner. The tensioner comes with a black cover in this kit. So this is a nice finish. This is powder coated, so I won't mess with that. Another important part that they use that's GM is the dampener pulley bolt. And this dampener crank bolt, the reason why I have 2 is that you always want to use an old one. These are torque to yield. So you use them once and you toss them. But you can always keep one to help install your dampener. And then you go ahead and you torque it to the right specifications. So that's the overview of the kit. I don't think I missed anything. You have your alternator there. You have your pigtail over here for the alternator. That's included as well. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint these parts that I have masked off in black. That guy too. And then begin the installation. All right, so now we're coming back to the parts that I went over and I primered and painted. This is the water pump. This is the heart of the whole mid-mount kit, okay? Everything bolts to this. That's the beauty of it. There's no brackets. Next thing I painted was the housing, thermostat housing. Remember I put a 160 thermostat in that. That does not come with the kit. Then I went over to the tensioner pulley, which is this guy. If you notice, I only painted half of it because the other half gets covered by a beautiful cap that they send that's powder coated. This is the air compressor adapter, which connects your lines. This is included in the kit. I always paint it black as well. And of course, the harmonic balancer, the crank pulley. Now, what do I recommend you paint this with? This is not your typical rattle can, although it is. In the sense that it is a rattle can, but is a 2K paint. What does that mean? It's catalyzed technology. There's hardener that gets released via this button, okay? On the bottom of the can, you'll see there's a nozzle down there. You place this on there and you push it. That's another video you guys gotta go check out. And that releases the hardener into the paint. So now you have 24 hours to use this. It's like using single stage paint out of a gun. It's the same thing, except this is high temperature, holds up to 600 to 650 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's not gonna chip, peel, or get worn out, you know, in a month or two after a couple of heat cycles, all right? So from here, we're gonna go ahead and install it on the motor. So the water pump drive is in. There are the 6 bolts. I did use a dab of that, blue Loctite, just for vibration. And one very key thing to remember is that it's important if you're painting these components, all right? The alternator and the AC compressor actually ground through the water pump bracket, which is this guy. So if you notice, I left all these points of attachment, they're bare, okay? So when they go onto the block, they're all gonna ground out to the block because the block ultimately ends up at the negative terminal of the battery. All right, all the paths from the accessories, which was this guy, ground out through the feet to the engine block and ultimately negative terminal on the battery. Keep that in mind. So make sure you do your taping correctly or else you're gonna have a gremlin that you probably won't find. Okay, now we have mounted the mid-mount kit with all the respective pulleys and bolts. You can look at your instructions for that. And the final step, apart from putting the cover on this tensioner, is to install the belt. Now for ease of installation, you want to route the belt onto all the groove pulleys first. What does that mean? Well, there's a groove, so that one. This is a smooth one. Don't do that one yet. Put it over that one. Put over, these are all grooved. This one's grooved also. After routing the belt, you want to use a 1/2 inch square drive wrench to pull the tensioner. I put an adapter on this one. to move the tensioner down. This will allow you to put the belt on and work the belt on nice and smooth. Make sure your belt is put on and it's not overlapping any lip of any pulley. All right, guys? So we're almost done here. So this is the last step. Now that we got our belt on, we routed it, we made sure that it's set properly. And the last step is installing this bracket for the cover of the tensioner. All right, so the way you come in with this is pretty tricky. You got two ways, right? Turn it 90 degrees and there's a shape there, there's a square. That square is gonna have to match with this one, except it's gonna go behind it. So turn it flat. It's not that hard, guys. Come in, turn it 90 degrees, and there it locked in. The square is within the square. Can't go anywhere else. Now you're gonna grab your pulley cover, the 2 bolts that go with it, and call it a day. For the win, we have the Gates Power Grip. Now, this is almost like heat shrink, but it's like super heat shrink. And I'll give you the part number there. Here's a part number. They're 2 different sizes. See where that's made? That means a lot to me. And then here's a part number for this one. See if we can zoom in on that a little bit. 1 1/16, and this is 1 3/16. So these are different sizes because the hose is a different size. So this is very important to not to skip this part because you will have overheating issues. Ask me how I know. All right. So don't forget about this heater bypass if you're not hooking up your heater. And on the side, you have 2 plugs. So here it is, guys. And that completes our Holley Mid Mount setup. I still have to go ahead and torque my crank bolt to 240 foot-pounds. I left myself a reminder there. That's with the old bolt, and with the new bolt, 59 foot-pounds, and then to 125 degrees. Hope this helped. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Smash that like button and anything else you want to do. But get your stuff done, guys.